So you need to sit down. Here's the thing. The deputies are in control of the courtroom and you cannot move around out of that box, out of your seat. Do you understand? All right. And Mr. Marino, thank you so much for dressing appropriately for court, even though you're going into custody today. I appreciate that. All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 0620 State of Texas versus John Marino. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Sorry.
That throws me off when you all do that.
I saw Bob standing there while his lead.
Okay. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case?
I have.
Did you review that with your client?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment, Mr. Marino, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're going with the lesser included offense of assault, the misdemeanor version.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault? At least the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault. That's a Class A misdemeanor. The range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Mr. Marino, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the lesser included offense of assault, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
State any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. So what was this about?
I was working for a company, and this dude was real hostile, and it was more on the Islam Christianity type thing, because I worked there. It was owned by Muslim people. My half brothers are Muslim, but I'm a Christian. I barely changed my life 8 years ago, so he was always harassing me. He's a Palestinian immigrant, so he's on that Palestinian.
Well, here's the thing. What I've always was taught, there are many things that you don't discuss at work. One is religion, the other is politics, and the third one is how much money you're being paid.
Right.
So how are you?
Well, he would always question me. How am my half brother is Muslim? Why am I not a Muslim? Why am I a Christian?
Well, the answer to that is that's none of your business.
Yes, I reported it and told your management and all that. He was always aggressive, always talking vulgar, always coming into work like that. And we had an argument. I was throwing out the trash. He yanked the trash can out of my hand. I yanked it back. He struck me and started striking me, and I defended myself.
You know, according to the police report, it says that you were trying to tell him how to do his job. That's the other thing people shouldn't do on jobs. Tell people how to do their job unless you're the supervisor.
Right. Well, I was supervising the warehouse part, and he would just come in and take the trash out and stuff. So I would unload the pallets off the forklifts, and I was picking up my mess from the pallets, the plastic wrapping, and he got mad about all that. He was just always very aggressive.
So who ended up losing their job?
Both of us.
Mhm.
At the same time, he lost and I lost financially. He lost financially. and we both lost. So defending myself in that sense, really, it just, I should have walked away maybe, but at the time.
Well, not maybe. I mean, is trash worth having to pay an attorney, having to make bond, and now maybe about to go to the Bear County Jail
No, it wasn't worth it at all.
over some trash bags, over people talking about what religion they belong to?
Wasn't worth
All right, State, have you spoken to the complainant in this case? Are they aware?
Yes, Your Honor, previously, Daniel Erskine had contact with.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, anything else, counsel? All right, the court will find you guilty as previously stated. The court is going to sentence you to 6 months in the Bear County Jail, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. When you're at employment, my mom always taught me this when I had my very first job, which was at Walmart. I only worked there a day because that's a rough job. But here's the thing. I'm a hard worker, but Walmart was very extra that day. So I started my workday at 6 a.m. And that was when Walmart closed at 9 p.m. And so my mom, who had been in the workforce, said, this is when they're to give you your breaks. This is how many breaks you should have. This is how long your lunch break should be. That's what the law is. So I'm there at 6 a.m. I work my work. I'm taking my breaks the way my mom should say. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm thinking, great, I'm going home. No, you know what they did at Walmart? Lock the doors. And then you had to clean up. So everybody who didn't put their clothes back, didn't put the things on the shelf back, we had to stay around and do that. So in the words of Seinfeld, yada, 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 I didn't leave till midnight. My mom was about to break into Walmart because she came to pick me up and the doors were locked. But I say that to say this. When I had that first job, my mom said, do not discuss politics, do not discuss religion, do not discuss how much you make. If you're talking to people at work, she's like, there are two safe topics, the weather and children, if you have any. She's like, that's it. So any other job you get, weather and children, that's it. And when you talk about children, she said, don't tell everybody how to raise their children. Just talk about your own children. Okay. All right. Good luck to you. Are you going to take any of his jury with you? All right.
I'm just gonna take it with me, and when they release me, I'll just.
All right. Do you have family members here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. He's saving it for you then.
All right, thank you. I'll be in touch.
But Sean, Walmart was not an easy job.
I worked there.
Yeah. It's hard. Yes. And then you know what I tell everybody? If you're shopping at Walmart, do not ever take the first item on the shelf, because whenever you go into Walmart and you see everything lined up, that's a worker who had to come in and turn all items face forward. You need to go to the one behind it. And people, put your stuff back on the shelf.
I'd never take the first one
Yes.
in any. I don't know.
And after that, it was so funny. My friends were saying, Stephanie, you should work at Kmart. You don't have to clean up. You just come in and do your job and leave. That's how I ended up at service merchandise.
That's like that.
Ms. Ritter, Mr. Reagan.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, you said Mr. Baker?
I mean Butler. I didn't mean it. I mean.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready on Mr. Butler, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Right here, boss.
Sir, we could see you. We could see you. Can you be quiet for me, please? This is case number 2150-4201. The people of the state of Michigan versus Aaron Butler. The defendant is charged with one count of stalking Today is the date Mr. Butler has been brought before the court on a tether violation. Appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, Philip Reagan on behalf of Mr. Aaron Butler, who's appearing via Zoom from the Wayne County Jail.
Mr. Butler, state your name.
Aaron Wesley Butler.
Today is the date set for, or strike that. Today, Mr. Butler has been brought before the court on a tether violation. And it appears from the report that Mr. Butler missed his court date, and therefore he was violated on his tether after perhaps the warrant went out. I don't know if the warrant actually went out because I don't see it in the report, but oh yeah, so he had a failure to appear warrant. So we put him on a tether and then he didn't come to court. Mr. Reagan?
So I'm going to be very forthright with the court. You know, I talked to Mr. Butler, Judge, and you know, one thing, Judge, we do every day, we wake up in the morning, God willing, and we get two things. We get a chance and we get a choice. Now, Mr. Butler, Judge, has been choosing to try to do the right things. He's been going out, he's been interviewing, he's been borrowing money from people. He goes to interviews, he doesn't get the jobs. They call him back, want a second interview, doesn't get the jobs. He needs a chance, Judge. And one of the things that we talked about was the fact that he needs to keep going, because he's been living in a situation, Judge, where the power, where he's been staying, they haven't paid the electricity. So he's been going down the street charging his tether every day. He's been doing that for maybe the last 2 months. So he's not trying to give up, Judge. But on that particular day, Ms. Court, unfortunately, he was just mentally going through some different things. But I explained to him, you know, he's 25, he's a young man, and I understand it's hard out here. I do, I really do. But, you know, he's doing the right things. He has to keep going. He can't give up, you know, and I think that's important. I think he's frustrated. I think he's, you know, he just wants an opportunity. And he says, you know, if I can just get one opportunity, I can do it. And I understand, you know, he needs to, you know, I want to encourage him to do that, but I understand, you know, life is real too. You gotta, you know, abide by, you know, the laws that we have, and you got to do certain things the right way. I don't think Mr. Butler is intentionally trying to miss court. I don't think he's necessarily a flight risk. I think this situation happened, you know, and us talking, you know, I want to see if I can help Mr. Butler provide some information on jobs, some services, whatever he can have to try to help him, because he's trying. It's not that he's not trying. You know, anybody living without electricity, you know, going back and forth, charging a tether every day, you know, and he wasn't violated because of the tether per se. He did miss court, Judge, which, you know, is not a good thing. But and just talking to Mr. Butler, Judge, he's not, I don't think he's a person that just doesn't care, not care. He wants to come to court. He wants to resolve this, but he wants to get his life right. And I think that's the most important thing, him getting his life right.
Ms. Ritter?
Judge, so I do understand that Mr. Butler has a capious history in this matter. And I'm asking the court to actually continue to bond with the GPS tether. I know this case has been going on since, from my understanding, I believe 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I know that the complaining witness did appear at the pretrial conference, so they are trying to pursue this matter, Judge. I'm just asking the court keep the GPS tether on at this time so that this case can come to its lawful conclusion.
And Judge, if I can ask, has there been in prior to the tether, Judge, I know it was one to probably ensure the safety of the complainant or the public and to make sure that he comes to court. You know, he's had a problem with coming to court. I don't know if there's been a violation of contact allegation in the past, but I don't think there's been. I think his issue is coming to court. you know, Judge, and I understand Ms. Ritter's position. I do. I mean, you know, because it's important that you got to come to court. We got to know where you are. But you know, I don't know if the tether is necessary, and the court may feel it is, Judge, at this time until we can get something more stable. But you know, if the people are not opposed to continuing the bond, letting him out back on tether, I guess we wouldn't object at this time, Judge.
All right.
Judge,
Yes.
I just want to make a minor correction. So it looks like this case was disposed on June 2nd of 2023, when Mr. Butler pled no contest to the allegations. So
So
there was
what
a
did
case,
he use from the sentencing?
I believe so.
Oh,
That's worse. That's worse. That's worse. But it didn't matter. So the tether is for two reasons. So if the case, I mean, in a stalking case, and you say he didn't have any violations, he didn't have any violations of physically going in a prohibited area. But, you know, obviously stalking can be done in many different forms. And tethers are put on cases for two reasons. Now, my general feeling about tethers on misdemeanor cases, of course, is that I don't put tethers on, I don't particularly like tethers on misdemeanor cases. This is one of the types of cases, though, that I'm in favor of tethers. And then if a person, so the tether is put on for two reasons. It's put on to try to ensure the safety of the person that is accusing the individual of a crime, but it's also put on to ensure the person is going to show up for court. It's going to show up for court, and then he didn't show up for court. I appreciate the fact that he goes down the street to charge that tether because it keeps him out of jail. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that he goes to try to find a place to charge that tether because, you know, and you can go any place with a plug. The mall has a plug. I mean, the neighborhood, I don't know what's in where he is, but places have a plug. So wherever he has to go to charge the tether, then that's where he has to go. But you miss court on sentencing day? Miss Silman, can you confirm for me what Mr. Butler KP is from?
That is correct. He did KP from the sentencing.
So on the one day that you're gonna miss court, you miss court on the day of sentencing. That's not a good look.
Judge, well, one thing I did tell Mr. Butler, I told him that, you know, being in this situation is a blessing and a curse as well, because, you know, you never want to be in a situation where you are charged with a crime, but to be in this court, Judge, because as I told Mr. Butler, this court, you know, it is very serious about what it does, Judge, and it's also serious about people and about helping people and about making sure, obviously, first and foremost, justice is served, but also, you know, just looking at him as a person and making sure that, you know, whatever sentence now, Judge, I know it's sentencing, whatever sentence the court is going to impose is going to be in a position to not just, you know, punish, but to help him move forward as an individual, help him move forward in his life so that he's not back here again, so that he can have certain tools, so that he can go out and do what he needs to do, you know, and be successful, Judge. And I'm glad he is here in front of this court because I'm confident that that's going to happen, Judge.
His sentencing was scheduled for July 7th. He just missed his sentencing.
Correct.
Well, it doesn't seem like I gave him a new date because he had already had a capious history. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reschedule his sentencing. There is a pre-sentence investigation. I just pulled it up. So, well, let me see if he participated though. Okay, yes. Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't participate though. So that's the second thing. There's a pre-sentence investigation. He didn't participate. But that could be, they mailed him a letter. I don't see where they called him. They mailed him 2 letters and they said he never called. Oh, they did have the phone number, but there was no answer and the voicemail was not working. So that's unacceptable. Now, what I can do is contact probation right now, see if they're able to come on. Ms. Tucker was the one assigned to do the pre-sentence investigation. Ms. Silman, call Ms. Tucker and see if she's able to Zoom in to do the pre-sentence investigation now.
Okay.
While Mr. Butler is in custody. The other thing is, I mean, life get hard. I'm telling you, life gets so hard, and then, you know, it just keep on going. Even though sometimes you want to push a pause button, you just want it to stop, you know, for a minute. Like sometimes I take a nap just so that what all the stuff going on in the world is not impacting me in that moment. But the problem is when I wake up, life kept going. So whatever I was trying to escape from with that nap, life kept going. So I don't know what brings you to my courtroom, Mr. Butler, but you're either gonna lean in and let us help you make different choices, or you're gonna keep on going at this rate and gonna be in prison. The prisons that they built for you. The prisons that they keep on funneling money through, but we can't find no money to feed the homeless and stuff. Life is against you. The odds are against you. You either gonna sit around and pout about the fact that the odds are against you, or you gonna say the odds are against me, but I'm gonna be successful out here. I'm gonna do blah, blah, blah. It's too many opportunities. We never had all of these entrepreneur opportunities that I see people having today. You can almost make money just, I mean, it's incredible to me. The way social media and stuff, you can sell stuff without ever having the merchandise in your possession. I mean, the young people are figuring some stuff out, and then you're gonna go with it or you're not. The places are closing. Places are closing down because they can't find anybody to work. The places are closing down because they cannot find anybody to work. That's a shame. That's a shame. One of my favorite restaurants shut down because they couldn't get any workers. That's horrible. And then, you know, how whatever you believe or whatever you feel about that, about the living wage and whatnot, whatever you feel about it, certain wages, when they go so high, it's hard for small businesses. It's hard for small business. So that's why people trying to get their own businesses where they don't have to have any employees. So what I'm saying to you is you could keep on using excuses. You could use excuses. Life got hard. You go to the job interview that you didn't get the job, and then you whatever. Do you know how many times some people successful who got turned down? You know how many successful actors and actresses got turned down and was, you know, waiting tables and washing dishes while they're trying to follow their dreams and goals? If they had said, oh, I didn't get the part, and they quit acting, we would never have some of these people, and they would not be financially stable. Do you know if I gave up when people told me no, every time somebody come against me, every time somebody try to get me to change, if you think if I gave in and went somewhere sulking, no, you have just got to keep moving, keep going, and don't miss court again. But because you missed court, I am going to keep you on tether until your sentencing. Did we get a response from Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, but she said that it wasn't her case, it's Mr. Sciotti's, so she's gonna let him know. He's gonna zoom in.
Oh, she is correct. I saw her name on here, but she is correct. That's Mr. Sciotti. Okay. So Mr. Sciotti is going to now, he's going to log in. So I'm going to
Right,
send
oh,
you
I'm
back
sorry.
to the waiting room. I want to send you back to the breakout room. I don't know if he can do the whole thing today. I don't know what their process is, but at least he's going to get some information from you so that if he can't do the interview today, he can know where to contact you. He can know how to get to you so we can do the pre-sentence report. So I am going to find that Mr. Butler violated his tether conditions by missing his court date. And I'm going to continue the bond with the tether. It will continue to be an unrestricted tether. However, he will have a curfew. The curfew will be from 11:59 p.m. to 5 a.m. I don't think Mrs. Gianni. Okay, so let's set the sentencing date. Well, I guess it kind of depends on what Mrs. Sciotti tells me, but that's all right. I'll still give them the 4 weeks. So today is the 20th. If we go to the 24, bond will continue, as I indicated, with Tether. And then I'm going to send the jail back to the breakout room and hopefully